Welcome to Tunnel Hill, Georgia. My name is Colton Wade, and we're about to get kicked off the ELITE Lineman Rodeo for the 4th class of the ELITE Lineman Training Institute. This is the 3rd rodeo that we've had so far here at ELITE, and just like the last rodeo, we're going to have 11 students competing. Now, something to note about this class in particular is that this is one of the most athletic classes that we've had at ELITE so far. So you should see some really fast times, you should see some competitiveness, and you should see some drama come down the stretch. In just a moment, I'm going to be joined by Waylon Hasty, and the lead instructor here at ELITE, and we're going to bring you the action. But before we do that, I'm going to send it down to David Brown, and he's going to introduce the guys and get things started for us today.
Hello guys, how are you? My name's David. We're going to go ahead and get some things started. And let's do this first. I want to welcome you and glad that you're here today. Maybe the rain will hold off a little bit longer. Let's say a word of prayer before we get started. And let's thank the Lord for the day. And then also pray that He'd keep our guys safe today, okay? Lord, we're grateful for how good you are to us and how you love us. And Lord, we recognize that you brought us all together today. It's not by accident that we're here together today. Thank you for the relationships that have been formed through ELITE and through this class. Lord, I thank you for these guys. I pray that today as they compete that you would keep them safe. And Lord, I pray that you'd be honored by what we do today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you guys for being here. Lineman Rodeo, I'm going to get Toby Mabry to come up and share with you a little bit about what you're going to see today. Before we introduce our guys, he'll let you know a little bit about the events that are going to happen today, okay?
Thank you, David. I also want to welcome y'all and thank y'all for coming out here to support these guys. I get to spend about 1 day a week with them, and I guess I've been up here the last 7 weeks with these guys every Wednesday, and they've worked their tails off. I've seen a lot of improvement out of them. This competition we have out here, it's for fun, but it's also something that has taken place. The first National Rodeo took place in Kansas City in 1984. This is an opportunity that something happens all through our industry now in every state. Guys come out and compete, and it helps to ensure that they're still using their safe work practices and have a whole lot of fun doing it. So I'll explain just real briefly these events, and if you haven't picked up one of these sheets, there's some in the trailer, and it kind of describes what they'll be doing and some of the deductions. They'll start off with an egg climb, and that's basically a speed event. They're going to have to work carefully not to break the egg on the way up and coming back down the pole, but that's a timed event. Hurt man rescue, that's something that industry-wide we're required to do every year to guarantee that we can still get up and down a pole and help someone else if the need arises. Dead-end polymer change-out, that'll take place over here on these poles, and that's just basically looking to make sure that they can get up there, use a hoist, use a grip, sag some wire, change out that insulator. And then also we're going to have an insulator change, middle pole right there. They're going to change the middle insulator on the pole top pin. And again, looking to make sure that they work safely, don't drop their tools, don't drop any materials. Again, if you hadn't picked up one of these sheets, pick one up. If you don't know what's going on, it'll help you a little bit. Very good, Dave.
Hey, let's do this. When I call your name, guys, come up here and stand. Let's kind of get a starting lineup of who's going to be competing today, all right? Let's start with Mason Savely. Come on up. That's good. Make some noise for them. They need it. They need a little encouragement, right? How about Cameron Hurd? Come on up, man. Austin Daniels. That's not enough noise. I want to hear some clapping. Let's cheer them on, guys. Brady Harper. Mason Gerstenschlager. Christopher Wilson. Brand new daddy right here. Raul Franco. Nathan Phillips. There's a few fans. Jared Gregory. And Colton Wade. Hey, listen, there's also one more student in this class, Miguel Jacobo, who's not here with us today, but Miguel logged all his times yesterday, did all his events yesterday. Let's if you would, let's stand and let's have the playing of the Star Spangled Banner, our national anthem, to get things kicked off. Mason climbed and put the flag up on the high pole up here. So.
I'll go back and fix it.
Guys, let's get started.
First up on the egg climb, it is Miguel Jacobo. And Miguel actually didn't attend the regular rodeo, as you know, so Miguel had his turns the day before. Waylon, tell us a little bit about Miguel.
Great kid, local kid here from where the school is in Tunnel Hill. Miguel is such a loyal dude that on the day of the actual rodeo, he decided to work. He did not want to take off work to participate in the rodeo.
And here he goes.
Miguel's a great climber, super fast.
Really steady, no wasted motions. And he's already at the top, 15 seconds in, and he's got to make that switch, get his egg in his mouth.
He's doing really, really, really good. He's a smooth enough climber. I feel certain the egg has no crack in it from climbing.
And he's on his way down. Pretty quick coming down.
He is quick.
Almost there. And 39 seconds. Really strong time for Miguel. And there you are checking for cracks. Good egg.
Good egg.
And that's a solid time to start the egg climb for Miguel Jacobo. And now it's Chris Wilson's turn on the egg climb.
The Chris Wilson.
Christopher Wilson, yes.
Absolutely. Chris Wilson's a good guy. Brand new dad. Got a baby that's just like a week old.
Yeah.
He's came a long way.
And how old is Chris?
Chris is about 33.
33.
Yep. Had a drastic change in what I would say his adult life. He kind of had some decisions that he wasn't proud of, but after about, age 28, 29, he started getting his act together, and he decided line work was a career he wanted to pursue, and here he is.
All right. And we get approval from our judge to start, and Alex Tipton, and here he goes.
Oh, it gets hung up a little bit.
About halfway there.
Wilson's got a lot of support around him, a lot of family and friends here watching today.
Nearly to the top. And kind of pulls violently with his arms there, almost there. Just his strap, and he's at the top. He's got to make his switch. Stumbles a little, gets it. And he's got to get the egg out and get it in his mouth and head down. Gets it in. Yep, here he comes. And you don't want to come down too violently, or that can crack the egg. He's coming down pretty careful. He's almost there.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. Wilson's got a little more in him. He can climb a little better than that. He knows, but he's really focusing on not cracking the egg.
Which is really all that matters.
That's right.
And he's there 1 minute, 3 seconds. And no cracks for Christopher Wilson. That's 100 points for him. And he's on the board. Didn't pass Miguel's time, but a solid time, 103, 100 points for Christopher Wilson. And now it's Austin Daniels' turn here on the egg climb.
Austin, this old corn-fed right here, son.
And why they call him corn-fed?
Look at him. Jeez, he's like 6'8", 280.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. He puts all the climbing equipment to the max of the scale it's rated for, but he climbs very good.
Yeah, look at him there. Really smooth, coming up pretty quick. And he's halfway there already. 9 seconds in, almost to the top. And he is there. He's got to make that switch. He gets the basket down. He's really good on his time right now. Gets his egg in.
Oh,
and
here we go.
He's headed down, 25 seconds.
His nickname's Yogi Bear. Look at him. He looks like a grizzly bear.
He's got like 3 nicknames.
He does. He's got nicknames everywhere. They're doing really good, though. Really good.
Almost
really proud
there.
of him.
And 41 seconds for Austin Daniels. Good, solid time for him. 100 points. And he's in a good spot on our leaderboard.
Good job, Austin.
And now it's time for Jared Gregory.
Oh, geez. The Gooch Master.
Gucci,
a.k.a. Gold Chains.
yeah. And he has a Gucci belt, a real Gucci belt. Like, it's pretty expensive, and he wears it while he climbs. He's probably wearing it right now.
Oh, absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt, he's got his belt on, and he's off.
Yeah.
Gucci's a good climber.
Yeah, he is.
Great
Moving
climber.
really good. Halfway there. 7 seconds. He's doing great. Almost to the top. Slows down a little bit. Adjusts his straps. It's time to vent, Gucci.
Yep. I'm not sure what all that stuff is flopping. I think he's got like all of his tools and his transfer rope and all this stuff going up for the egg climb. Like, come on, Gooch.
All right, he gets his egg switched. Gets in his mouth. He's heading down.
Gucci's a really good climber. He hails from Dade County. He reigns from Trenton. He and I have a mutual friend, Brent Cooper. Good guy.
Almost there.
Now he hangs up a little.
Around, probably going to hit around 50 seconds, almost at the bottom. And 52 seconds. And let's check that egg. And there is a crack. There is a crack. So that'll be a 2-point deduction from Gucci. A good time, 52 seconds, but that'll put him at 98 points. And let's move on to our next student. And now it's time for Mason Savely.
A.K.A. Monday.
And explain that for us.
Every day is Monday to Savely. You wake up and it's like, Monday, what are you doing? He said, what do you mean? I said, we didn't learn that yesterday? Oh, yeah, we did. I forgot about that. It's like every day when he sleeps, it's a brand new day when he wakes up. He's very enlightened every morning.
It's a fresh start every day there. All right, here he goes.
Good climber.
Yeah. Halfway, and he's moving pretty quick. He stumbled a little bit at the very start, but he rebounded. He's almost there.
He did. He's a former baseball player, played travel ball, really good athlete.
And he's at the top, 17 seconds, really good time. Got to make that switch and head down. Let's see if he can get under 40. He's on pace to do so. He's 29 now, halfway there. Big long strides coming down.
Good job, Mason.
And let's see if he has, and he's at 39. Let's see if he cracked that egg. He did.
Oh,
he did. And that'll be 98 points for Mason Savely. Good, solid time. Great time, really, 39 seconds, but he did crack the egg, so that'll be 98. And we'll head on to our next student. And now it's time for Brady Harper.
We used to call Brady D1. Old football scholarship. He went over to Reinhardt. Brady's a great running back in his high school career. Went to college for a little bit, decided college wasn't for him, and he's ready to do the egg climb.
And here he goes. And his hard hat falls out. He continues to climb. Halfway up.
Crack the egg. It had to. And again.
It cuts out pretty good.
Come on, Brady.
He's still going. And he made it to the top pretty quick, considering all that happened.
Absolutely, 19 seconds.
He's swapping the egg out, but I think he just found that egg is broke.
Oh, geez.
And so he heads down, and he won't get any points for his turn on the egg climb today. It's unfortunate. Brady is a great climber, great student. And we're going to head on to our next contestant. And now it's time for Mason Gerstenslager.
Well, that's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. It's hard every time I say his name. Mason Gerstenslager. Stacy is his nickname.
He's called Stace because I used to work with a guy for probably 5 or 6 years at the former company at Georgia Power, and I worked with Stacy, and Stacy and Mason are good friends, so we called him Stace.
What should we expect here out of Gerstenslager?
He is 150% improvement from day one. When when he learned to climb, he was scared to death of heights. So to see this right here, it's really rewarding for us as trainers and instructors to see somebody that was so intimidated they didn't feel comfortable more than 2 foot off the ground to execute this way. So I would say what to expect right here is you're going to get to see a guy who came from nothing to be able to execute an egg climb is a win in itself.
And look at him moving up really fast. You can tell he's got a competitive nature in him. And he's almost to the top, and he's just about there, 15 seconds.
Really impressive.
And he's got to make that switch and head down.
He's really good. He's from Canton, Georgia. He drove up every day.
On his way down. And coming down a little slower than he went up, but the main thing is not to crack that egg.
Absolutely.
And
he's almost there.
He has made it 52 seconds. And let's check the egg. Good egg. 100 points.
Good job, Mason.
And a solid time, solid score for Mason Gerstenslager. And now it's time for Nathan Phillips.
A.K.A. Martini.
Chatsworth, Georgia.
Yeah, this joker out here ate a Burger Den biscuit every day. I think every day of his life he eats a biscuit from Burger Den.
Sausage biscuit?
I have no idea. He's a track and field star from Murray High. He was really good. I think it was in hurdles.
Yeah.
Set some school records.
Yeah.
Great athlete. Served in the military. I don't recall what branch, but we always like to thank them for their service. Huge sacrifice.
Yeah, absolutely. He gets situated, gets his gaff guards out there.
Probably one of the smartest guys that's ever came through our program because he's a history buff. He loves history. He loves stats. He loves reading. He's just a wealth of knowledge in what he acquires.
He's getting ready to get situated here.
So track and field coming out in.
Yeah. Just kicking around the dirt. And looks like he's about to get started. And gets the bucket in his mouth. And here he goes. Good steady pace.
Good job,
moving very quick.
Great job.
Good rhythm to it.
Yeah.
As the rain comes down, he makes it there to the top. Tosses the bucket down. He's got to get that egg in his mouth. And really, I think the main thing here is you don't have to be in too big of a hurry. It's like we talked about. You just don't want to crack that egg. And it doesn't seem like he's going to. He looks like he's being very thoughtful. And he's almost there.
Good job, Martini.
Moving steady. And
oh, he cut out a little, didn't he? Slipped a little.
he's got it. 45 seconds. And I think they're just going to call out a slip, so he's not going to get any points deducted. And I think his egg's good. His egg is good. 100 points for Martini. Nathan Phillips, 45 seconds, 100 points.
Great job.
And now it's Cameron Hurd on the egg climb. One of the most talented climbers we have had at the school.
Absolutely. He comes from experience in working in the tree business. I don't know that he ever climbed in the tree business. I do know he'd been on a bucket and operated a digger derrick truck, and he comes from a very, very, very hard-working family background. I mean, he is a very hard-working kid.
And here he goes. Moving very quick. You can tell he's very comfortable, and he's going fast. He's almost there.
Fast.
If he hadn't adjusted there, he probably would have been up in 10 seconds.
Absolutely. Great athlete, too. Good high school football player. He makes a swap.
And he's got to get the egg in. He's headed down. And remember, folks, speed isn't everything. Let's see if he's able to keep that egg from being cracked. He's coming down very fast. And he's down 36 seconds. Fantastic time. Let's check that egg. And he's got a crack.
Oh,
he's got a crack. That's going to be a 2-point deduction. No, he doesn't have a crack. Sorry. He's good. My bad. That's my fault. 100 points for Cameron Hurd. Sorry, Cameron. You did great. And now it's time for Raul Franco.
Best cook in the southeastern United States.
Yes, he sure is.
Cool story about Raul. He come down actually before we ever started the school and talked to us about coming in to try to be a student and you know, kind of his long-term goals and stuff. And he decided timing wasn't right, so he actually waited about 1 full year before he signed up for school. Saved his money, done some discipline things. Very proud of Raul.
Yep. He's a great guy. He gets situated now.
Local guy. He's from right here beside the school. Lives a couple miles away. Very hard worker. Good guy.
Get the thumbs up from Dipstick there, and here he goes.
Good job, Raul.
And yeah, he's a big guy, but he doesn't move like one. He moves very quick.
Raul's a great climber. Great climber. He's a great encourager, too. It's a natural gift of his to be a team player and encourage folks.
Gets the egg in his mouth. Switches the buckets, drops the one that was on the pole, and he begins to head down. He's in a good spot, 30 seconds.
He's in a great spot.
And he's coming down real steady, almost there. Shouldn't have a crack in that egg, but we'll see. And
good job, Raul.
Let's check that egg. Oh, he's good. He's good.
Great work, man.
100 points, Raul Franco. And he's in a good spot. Not first place on our leaderboard, but it doesn't matter. He's in 100 points and has room to be in a good situation later in the rodeo. So great job from Raul Franco. And here is Colton Wade.
Colton Wade, a.k.a. Boo Boo.
Yes, he's the boo-boo to Austin Daniels Yogi.
Yeah, they were climbing beside each other, and it was like Rob and Big. I mean, it's two extreme opposites right here. But Colton Wade's a great guy. Carsville High School. He went to school with Trevor Lawrence.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. He very disciplined young kid. Got a landscaping business he runs on the weekend. Phenomenal young guy. Very quiet. Don't say a whole lot, but is well spoken when he speaks, and he knows how to execute tasks as planned.
All right, and here goes Colton as he heads up the pole. Halfway up, making really good time.
Yeah, he's a great climber. Good job, Colton.
Yeah, he's at the top. He's got to make his switch. Drops the basket, gets the egg out, and gets in his mouth. He's got to start heading down. He's in a good spot.
He is a great climber, too. Been a little strategic on his way down because he's got that egg in his mouth.
Almost there. Almost there. 40 seconds. Close to the ground, and he'll get a final time of 46 seconds. And we're going to check that egg. He does have a crack. Does have a crack. So that'll be a 2-point deduction. Yeah, it's a great time. 46 seconds. 2-point deduction, I'll put 98. But anything can happen in this rodeo, so we'll see what happens for Colton. But he's in a decent spot, 98 points, and that will conclude the egg climb. All right, well, let's take a look at our leaderboard for the egg climb. And as you notice right there at the top, Cameron Hurd, he had that blistering time of 36 seconds. Miguel Jacobo right below him at 39, Austin Daniels 41, Nathan Phillips 45, and Raul Franco. That kind of rounds out the top 5. You see a little lower, we have some 100-point times, so that around 52 a minute. And then down lower, you see those that had some cracks. Mason Savely, Colton Wade, Jared Gregory. And that was a really great time there for Mason Savely. If he hadn't had that crack deck, he'd be right there tied with Miguel for second place. But really some great times, some great showing there, especially from 7 of our guys on the egg climb. Let's move on to the Hurt Man. All right, and we're back with Miguel Jacobo as he begins on the Hurt Man. He's at 100 points right now, and he's going to look to add to his strong day that he's started so far.
Miguel does really good there again. He's doing this the day before because of his loyalty, and he practiced a Hurt Man a lot. He's
very, very good at the Hurt Man. He seems to really understand the whole thing with the knots and climbing through the dummy.
Here he goes. He's headed up.
And this, as you notice, the climbing technique's a little different for a lot of these guys. This as opposed to the egg climb. They got to be a little more careful in the egg climb. This, they can just climb up as fast as they need to.
Trying to climb through him, that's tough. That's a tough spot to be in. When you're up there, it feels like forever trying to get past that thing.
And he's through.
That's impressive. Very impressive.
And he gets in a good position there on the left.
He's got to get his friction points.
And he's going to drop the block on the hand line. All right, he's coming over. He's got to get around. He's trying to find a good angle to get around Terry there, and I think, yeah, he's got he gets it.
That's so hard to do. That's so hard. It looks so simple from a camera and from the ground, but to be able to sincerely get in position to do that well is really tough.
All right, now he's got to tie his half hitches. I believe he may have one already. Yeah, I think he's got his second one. Oh, he's got all 3, and he's got to get his friction point. Gets his knife out. And he's got to cut him.
Oh, here he comes.
Here he comes.
Good job, Miguel.
Really strong time. He's got to get slack. And
good for you.
Minute 37.
Very impressive.
Very strong time for Miguel Jacobo. Great time. Minute 37. And that's another 100 points for him. He's at 200 on the day. He's in a great spot heading into the third round. now here up on the hurt man, it's Nathan Phillips,
AKA Martini. Here goes the track and field approach again. He's getting all warmed up, getting stretched, checking it out here.
It's kind of like a batter in baseball adjusting their batting gloves.
Yep. He's getting all ready for game time. Oh, there we go.
Gets in, fills it.
Track and field junior. It's like a golfer before he swings a backswing in a golf club.
Yep. And yanks that hand line, heads up.
He's mad, son. He's
coming up furious.
Go Martini, son.
Oh,
he cuts out. Oh, jeez. He's got to get through that dummy.
I don't think the judge deducted, so they might have called that a slip.
The judge was probably getting a pinch of snuff or something. I don't even remember. He had his head down. Martini, you got one by us, buddy.
Yeah. And he's getting the rope around him.
It's pretty good though.
He's in a good spot.
Climb through that dummy and get that rope around that quick is very impressive.
I mean, he's a 42 right now. And I think he's already starting to tie his knots. Yeah, he is. He gets one in there. Got two. Got three.
Good job, Martini.
Oh, but he didn't even. Yeah, he's just now dropping the block.
Oh, I see. He split it and throwed it and tied it.
Yeah, he's got his friction point. He's at 1:05. He's going to have a great time. Cuts him.
He hung up a little bit.
Coming down. And our judge says it. Yeah, he's got it. 1:15. The slack is out. 1:15. That's a fantastic time for Nathan Phillips. That's going to put him 200 overall because they didn't see the cutout. But anyways, that's still good. Great job, Martini. 200 points, and we're going to head on to our next student.
Good job.
And now it's Cameron Hurd here on the Hurt Man.
All right, Cameron.
And he's sitting good now, 100 points. Had a fantastic time on the egg climb. And here he goes
very
now.
athletic, great climber.
He's halfway up. He's not climbing as angry as Martini was.
No, not really. But he's got to get through him. He's got to get through him. Oh, he's going to stay below him and step up in his belt. Nope. Here he goes.
He's
now
coming.
He's going to get through. That's wasted time, man.
He's in a good position. He's off to the left a little, and he drops the block. Gets some rope to work with. Tosses over.
Nice, good throw, right up under his armpit. Good stuff.
Got to reach around and grab it. That's tough.
That is. That's a good position, though. He did really good there.
Gets his rope, and he's got to start tying them knots.
Got to have 3 half hitches. I don't know what he's doing right there. It's hard for me to see what they look like.
There's one knot, I think.
Yeah, I know. It's like those knots, those half hitches are supposed to come down tight to the dummy's chest.
Okay.
And they are judged on that when that dummy gets to the ground. Here goes the friction point.
And he got it that time. And now he's got to make his cut and get him down. He's at 116 right now.
He's looking for his knife. He wasted 5 seconds looking for his knife.
And here comes the dummy. And get the slack out. He does. 124. And I think he's going to have some kind of deduction for something to do with a knot. I don't know if he didn't get, we couldn't really see that well. I don't know if he got 3 knots or not, or there was something wrong with one of his half hitches. But he's going to have 2 points deducted. And now it's Austin Daniels from the Hurt Man, and he's sitting good with 100 points right now, and he's going to try to get 200 and stay on pace with the rest of the pack.
Got the rain coming down. This is Yogi, a.k.a. Cornfed. He had a lot of nicknames, man. Great climber, though, and there's something about the task that we performed during school and obviously during the rodeo that just absolutely clicked with Austin. Everything clicked with him. It made good sense, and therefore he was able to execute most everything really well.
And as he's climbing here, you'll notice he's not climbing quite as furiously or as quickly as a lot of these guys. But again, like we say, the main point of the rodeo is not necessarily speed. It's to make sure that you get 100 points each time. And so far, he looks good. And he's through the dummy very quick, 25 seconds. That's great.
Yeah, that's a great job getting through the dummy. Really tough task. That's the vast majority of what he had to do.
Gets his block down, gets his hand line situated, tosses that rope over the cross arm, and he's got to get. I think he's already got around him. No, he doesn't. He's grabbing that rope. He's got it. Kind of roughing up Terry there.
He is. Beating him up a little bit.
Yeah, he's got to tie his knots.
Rain's coming down good.
And does that make it tougher doing this in the rain?
Yeah, it does. It does. You got wet leather gloves. You got fogged up eyeglasses or safety glasses. I mean, it does. It don't bring a impossible challenge to the table, but it does bring a little more challenge.
I think he might. I don't know if he has how many knots he's tied yet. It looks like there's a little space in between the rope and Terry there.
Yeah, it's hard for me to tell as well.
And
there he goes. Now
yeah.
Maybe he's tying the half inch.
Yeah, he's got. There he goes. I think that's maybe one or two. Okay, he's got all three, and then he gets his friction point. Gets his knife out, getting ready to cut, and
there he comes.
Here he comes.
Good grief, he's violently out of control in the rain and the lightning.
And gets his slack out, 2:07. Good solid time, 100 points there.
Good job, Cornfed.
And he's in a good spot moving forward. And now it's Raul's turn on the hurt man.
Raul Franco, hails from Tunnel Hill, Georgia.
Yep. Great cook, as we mentioned.
Absolutely, man. He cooks some mean meals here. Great meals here.
Yeah. He even cooked at my rehearsal there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm curious to see how Raul tackles the dummy. Not literally, but how he executes when he gets to him and how he gets him tied up well.
He's going up very quick. Halfway there, around 13 seconds. And let's see him power through Terry. Shouldn't have a problem. Gets hung up a little. It's adjusting. Oh, well, he's going to work right there. Going to drop his block.
It's pretty low right there. It's a tough spot. It's really hard to work that low.
Alright, tosses over the cross arm. Grabs into the rope. He's got to pull around. He's in a decent position. He's got it around. He's got it around him.
He is.
He needs to tie his knots. He's almost got him.
He's doing good. Raul's doing really good.
He's getting his friction point.
That's pretty quick.
He's at 1:06 right now.
That's a good spot to be in.
Gets his knife out, gets the cutting.
Good job,
getting him
Raul.
down. Here he comes.
Oh, he's hung up. Cut him again. There you go.
And him hanging up probably cost him 5 seconds, and he gets him down at 1:22. Still an unbelievable time for Raul. That's a great time. Nearly got him to first place, but he's going to get the second best time on the hurt man, and that'll be another 100 points. That's 200 points for Raul Franco, and it's a great spot to be in for him. All right, let's look at our leaderboard here as we progress in the competition. And after the hurt man, you see the leaderboard kind of shakes up a little. Cameron Hurdu is in first, drops down to fifth. We have a few others that drop. But Nathan Phillips went straight to the top there, and he had an unbelievable time on the hurt man at 1:15. Unbelievable time, and he's 2 minutes overall. Raul Franco, 2 minutes, 8 seconds overall. Miguel Jacobo, 2:16. Austin Daniels, 2:48. That rounds up your top four. Those are all people who have perfect scores so far. And down lower, you know, we had a knot issue with Cameron Hurd. That knocked him into fifth place. Jared Gregory, he's at 198. Colton Wade, He's at 198. Most of these guys around 198, and down at the end you have Mason Sabley and Mason Kirschenschlager at 196. But really though, those top 4 are really the ones that are in it to win it here as we move on to the polymer change. And now it's time for Nathan Phillips here on the bell change. He's sitting pretty right now. There's 200 points, and he's going to try to get to 300 and stay at the top of the leaderboard. I believe he's in a really good position right now as we stand. He is in first place.
Absolutely, this is an event where it's good, and I think Martini will execute well. But basically, the idea here is we want to make sure the guys have somewhat of a knowledge of how to operate a hoist and a wire grip, so that when they move into the industry, they do it. And he's off to a really good start. Good job, Martini.
And this is the one event where you have a groundman.
Absolutely. Have a groundman to help you. They'll pull up a horse to you and an extra dead-end insulator. There's a couple different slings for that. Some people call it a polymer. Some people call it a dead-end bell. Some people call it a poxylator.
And he's got a transition over that neutral.
Moving great pace. To be where he's at and already having transferred above the neutral at 50 seconds is a really good spot.
Yep, he's climbing up now, and he's going to be working on that outside bell. He's going to get his hand line situated there.
Hangs a hand line on the arm. Good move.
What would you say is the toughest part of this event?
I would say the toughest part of this event for these guys, maybe not somebody that's been in line work for a while, is obviously the operation of the horse and the wire grip, which is why we do it. Because obviously you can tell by looking at the wire that the wire isn't guide, so therefore the wire it's not really tight. But we want to make sure they know how to use a wire grip and a horse. So the toughest part of that is the operation of the wire grip and the horse.
He's getting he's getting his tools out, getting everything situated where he wants it. He's getting things out of the bucket. I don't know what he's grabbed. He might have grabbed
like a wire grip.
Yeah. All right, he's putting the wire grip out on the line. Didn't get where he wanted. Now he's going to try again. And he's got it out there. He's got to get his get his hoist out.
Probably. It's hard to see right here the way the camera angle is, but I would assume that he's already thrown a sling or a rope around that arm, and whatever it is attached to that arm, and that's where the other end of his horse is attached. He's got something there that's attached, so he's executing well. He's moving really good pace.
He's got to get that slack.
Got to pull out a couple of cotter pins, change a couple of pins, and he'll have the polymer swapped out. That's what he's in the process of doing right now, is getting those pins out and changing that polymer out. It's a really tough event because of those cotter pins. Those cotter pins are really easy to drop, especially when you're tired, you got sweaty gloves, you got weak hands, and anytime you drop anything in this event, it can cost you 2 points.
And he gets that bell in the bucket, and he gets his other polymer out, and he's going to get the pins in through that. Gets what he needs, and then he's got to grab the other end of that wire, and then work his hoist. What would you say is Martini's greatest strength?
Determination. Without one shadow of a doubt. He's a very determined guy. Some people might call it stubborn, but he's not going to take no for that. And Martini is determined to get into and stay into and be in line work. It looks like he maybe tried to operate his horse without pinning that shoe back, or he needed a little bit more slack, so he picked up a little bit more wire so he could get that pin in. It's hard to tell exactly what he was trying to do there, but looks like he's got the shoe pinned back onto the belt. We'll know in a second if he starts slacking off on that horse. We'll know it's perfect. He's still at a really good time though. For what these guys have now, he's slacking the wire off. About 4 minutes 30 in. That's
moving
good.
Fast.
That's a good spot to be in.
He's got his hoist off. He's got to pack everything up, send it down, and he's got to come down. And this time stops once your foot hits the ground. And right now, he is just approaching 5 minutes. The bucket comes down. He's got to get that hand line down.
Come on, Martini, you got to move. Looks like he might be waiting a little bit on the ground.
All right, Holler's headache. Holler's headache again. And begins to head down. Now he's got a transition. And he comes down a little bit, gets in a good position. He's approaching 6 minutes. Needs to get his secondary. All right, he's got it. He's coming down. Here he comes. 5:53 right now. Now he's in the rhythm. Almost down 6:03. Just got to touch the dirt.
Move it, move it, move it. Good long steps right there at the end.
6:13. Good solid time. And he had no points deducted. So he's in a great position heading into that final event. He's at 300 points. And he's still in first place at the top of our leaderboard. And now it's Austin Daniels here on the bell change. Now, as Austin says, he's in a good spot. Now, we didn't show two of the contestants that were in second and third place going into the bell change. That would be Raul Franco and Miguel Jacobo. They both had points deducted on this event. And so Austin Daniels is in prime position to either take first place from Nathan Phillips or be in second place with a good placing going into the final event. So he's getting ready now.
I think he's a good contender in this. So like I said earlier, he gets it. He understands how a lot of this stuff works. And Austin is a guy who generally gets him a good game plan before he leaves the dirt. Obviously, he's got some pressure on him right here because he knows he's at the top. He don't know first, second, third, fourth, but he knows he's in the top quartile of these guys, and he has some pressure on him to execute well, and he knows that. Let's see how he handles it.
And so far, so good. Halfway up, 10 seconds. And now it's time for him to transition. One of the most important things taught here, would you say, is transition?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a really tough skill. You know, it kind of goes along with climbing, but since the 2015 OSHA mandate of being 100% fall rest, you got to know how to do it, and it takes a lot of skill to know how to get across an obstacle and to even use wood pole fall protection in itself. That's outside of climbing. It's skills within the wood pole fall protection arena that these guys become good at.
And he's got his secondary down. I think he's got everything good there, and he begins to climb up. Yeah, just his strap. And now he's heading up. Well, okay, now he's heading up. All right.
See where he hangs his hand line. I would assume he'll hang it on the arm. I think some guys may hang it on the pole. Arm is a much better place because it allows
it's closer to the work.
It's closer to the work. So when you pull it up, you don't have far to move anything at all.
And he does put it on the cross arm. kind of close to the pole, but it is on the cross arm. He gets it up. He's got all what he needs. Gets his hoist out, gets his wire grip, and thought he about dropped it there for a second. He didn't.
He's in a good spot though. He's in a really good spot to be where he's at in 2 minutes, getting all that rigged up. If you notice the way that's hanging, there's a wire grip obviously on the wire, then a hoist, and then on the back side of that hoist where he's attaching it is a transformer slot. So he had a little bit different setup and approach.
Well, he had the wire grip already on the hoist.
Right. He had a little bit different setup in the approach than Nathan Phillips.
And let's see if that helps him on time. So far, he's in a good spot. He's 2 minutes 30 seconds, so he's halfway to 5. He's got to just get that switch and head down. Can't quite see what's going on there, but I think he's about got it off. And he does, do believe. Yes, he does. He's got it off that one end. And now he's got to get it all the way off. What would we talked about Nathan Phillips' greatest strength. What would you say is Austin Daniels' greatest strength?
I would say his ability to execute a plan. Kind of like I said earlier, for what goes with Austin, a lot of things click with him. And if you put some clarity of a plan in front of him, it doesn't have to have a lot of minor details. He'll fill in the blanks of the minor details because of how well he picks it up. So I would say, without one shadow of a doubt, it's definitely that trait is the strength of Austin's.
All right, and I believe he's got his other polymer.
Yeah, he's in a good spot right there. To be, if you think back to Nathan Phillips, about 345 is where he's at. He's fixing to execute the reverse order of that. Get that hoist off, get the wire grip off, let it down, and come to the dirt. So it's going to be close.
All right, 4 minutes. He's in a good spot. I think he's about got that all in there, and then he's got to get everything, get his hoist cranked out, and get it off. He's still working with his pins, looks like. Okay, now he's with his hoist.
He's working it pretty fast.
He's approaching 5 minutes. He's got to get all his gear down. The bell's in, and it's headed down now.
Yep, there goes the equipment bag.
Now he's got to get that hand line down. Unhooks it. And he drops the block. Drops the hand line. He's headed down. Now remember, he's got a transition, and then he's got to come down as fast as he can, hit that dirt. He's at 5:10 now. He's at a great spot. Let's see if he can beat 6 minutes.
He's going to have to move if he's going to beat 6 minutes. He's going to have to move fast.
Yeah, and he's kind of in a little bit of an awkward position, but he looks like he's all right. I think he's about got it.
Here he comes.
He's on his way down. He's at 5:40. I think he's going to do it, but he's going to have to pick it up. Almost there. Adjust a little. 5:55. 5:58.
Oh, wow.
5:58, a great time for Austin Daniels, and that'll put him at 300 points. And he's right there with Nathan Phillips. It's neck and neck between those two guys. Both of them 300 points, and everybody else is 298 or less. So a great showing from Austin Daniels, and let's see how it shakes out in the next event. Well, let's look at the leaderboard again, and as you notice, some things have changed. Austin Daniels and Nathan Phillips are there. Nathan Phillips first, Austin Daniels second. And if you look a little further down the list, we got some 294s, 296s, some 298s. Really, though, that 296 over Cameron Hurd, you know, it's unfortunate that he had those 4 points deducted, because if you look at his overall time, he has the fastest overall time of anyone, 8 minutes. He'd be in first right now if he didn't have those points deducted. If you look a little further up, we have some times that aren't as strong as others that are in the top 5. And then you'll notice Colton Wade has climbed back up. Raul Franco got moved down, but it looks like it's coming down between Nathan Phillips and Austin Daniels going into the insulator change. All right, now it's Austin Daniels here on the insulator change. This is it. He's right now second place, and a great time could get him first place. And Nathan Phillips follows him, so we'll see how this shakes out. But how do you think he's feeling going into this event?
I think he feels some pressure. I think that he knows where he stands from a points perspective. I'm not sure if he is well aware of a time perspective, but I think he knows he's got to be perfect number 1 and not drop any points on this event. And I think obviously he knows it's got to be executed as fast as he can, because he's going to set the standard for Nathan to come in behind him and beat him, or vice versa. It's kind of a neck and neck deal, and we know the priority is points, and second to that is execution and time.
All right, and here he goes. Like we say, he's in a good spot, so he just makes really what's important is getting those 100 points, because at the end of the day, if he goes fast and doesn't, then all Nathan's got to do is just cruise in and not make mistakes, and he's got it. So it's very important, one, that he gets the 100 points more than anything else. And so far, he's doing good. He's got a transition, just like he did on the last event. And I would say it's a little similar to the last event. It's changing out something.
Yeah, it is. It's just changing a different type insulator, but it's still changing out an insulator.
Yeah. No hoist.
No, they won't be using a web hoist, but the tough one in this one is the transition to the cross arm, and the middle phase insulator is the one that's got to be changed out. So, you know, the tough side of that is how do you get to it? How do you make sure you untie it well and tie it back in well and those kind of things? Because if that's not executed well in the finish of that, then obviously you're going to lose points in that.
All right, and he's going to hook his hand line. There's a hook right under that on that Alabama arm, and he hooks it in right there. And he gets his bucket, and he's going to step up. I don't really think he needs to transition over that arm. He just needs to get in a good position. I think he's just about there with the work. He's got to reach up a little. And he's untying. I think he's untying.
Yeah, it looks like he is untying.
Yeah.
He's untying a preformed tie. Some call it a straight line tie, some call it a Z tie.
He's unscrewing that insulator right now. Doesn't have it out yet. I think he's letting it sit in there, or sit on it.
That's right.
It's his other one. Switches out, and now he's going to put that one on.
He's moving at a good pace. Really
he's
good
at 230.
pace.
And let's see if he can beat 5 minutes. That would be unbelievable if he's able to.
Yeah, it looking like he's on track to. It's going to be tough. The transitions consume a lot of time.
And would you say this is also something that can trip him up a lot as well, tying that back in?
Absolutely. The way that tie goes on, and for people that may watch this that do line work know, for those of you who don't, there's an execution in the way you start it. And if it's not started right, it will not finish out. But if it's started right, if it's spun on, it will be.
I think he's about got it. He's at 311 right now. He's in a great spot. He's got it tied in. Now he's just got to get his hand line down. He's got to head down. 318, 320. Sends his bucket down. Now he's got to drop out hand line.
Here he goes. Oh, he's going to bring it down.
He's going to hook
with
it.
him. He's carrying it with him. That's right. This event right here, he doesn't have a groundman. He pulled it all up on his own, let it all down on his own.
Okay. He's got to head down. He's at 344. And now he's got to transition. Just now at 4 minutes. So far, he has no points deducted. All he's got to do is hit the dirt, and he's got a great time and 400 points.
As long as he don't cut out on the way down.
Yes. Here he comes. So far, so good.
A little adjustment.
425, and that's okay. I mean, as far as time goes, he's fine. He doesn't need to rush or do anything crazy. And he makes it. 434.
Good job, Cornfed.
Fantastic time for Austin Daniels, 400 points, and that puts quite a lot of pressure on Nathan Phillips going into this last go and insulator change.
Great job.
And now it's Nathan Phillips. This is for all the marbles right here as he goes in. He came into this event in first place, and he had an overall time of 8:13. And Austin Daniels came in with an overall time of 8:46. So time is the tiebreaker when you have a perfect score.
I think Martini's feeling the same kind of pressure. He wants to make sure he executes well. He wants to make sure that he don't miss the opportunity to win this event. Obviously, if he wins this event, there's a good chance he wins the overall rodeo.
Yep. And really, I mean, the only really competition he has right now is Austin Daniels, and he has 400. Everybody else is sitting at 398. So he's got to get a perfect score here. And he's about to get started, and adjust his hard hat, and here he goes. Heads up, good pace. Always seems to have a really good pace.
Yeah, he's a great climber.
And feels like he climbs different based on what he's doing.
He's a great climber.
Seems to put a lot of thought into what he does.
He does. He plans well and executes well.
How important, I mean, and I feel like this is sort of, a nah-duh kind of thing, but I mean, how important is having a plan in these events?
Well, it's good, especially this event. So, for example, he don't have a groundman. So he's going to make sure he gets his hand line laid out just right, his insulator laid out just right. And it makes the execution of that, if you're prepared well, 5 seconds could be a game changer.
Yeah.
So, in the planning stages of really any lineman's rodeo event, they're critical, but especially where you don't have one with a groundman, planning is as much or more important, because you throw a groundman in, you got planning and communication. It kind of throws a whole nother wrench in there to make sure the guy up the pole and the groundman execute well together. But this right here creates a pressure where all this right here is on Nathan Phillips and Austin Daniels to plan and execute well on their own. There's no communication barrier there. It's plan and execute, and it's all on you.
And right now he seems to be executing pretty well. He's getting his materials up. He's pulling up right now. He might have got tangled a little bit, and he's about got it all the way up. And then he's got to change out that belt, or that insulator.
Yeah. He appears to be in a really good spot to do it. It's hard for me to tell exactly how high he is. But the higher you get from a climbing position, the easier this stuff is.
And I think he's going to step up a little bit, and here he is stepping up just right now. And he's beginning to untie.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to get the tie off right now. That's a tough feat. It's tough. That's a hard tie to execute.
And right now he's at 230. and the time to beat is 4:34. Now overall, remember, we have an overall time, so the main thing is that his overall time is better than Austin Daniels, and so far he's in a good position to do that. He's just got to get that untied, and he's got to get that insulator off.
He's doing a lot of work, man. He's doing a lot of work.
Twist it. He's got it off. He's got to get that other one on. Gets it in.
It's hard to tell, but I can't tell if he's tying it back in or not.
Yeah, he got it tied in.
So he's tied in. He's fixing to come to the dirt.
He's got to finish tying. He's at 3:38 right now, approaching 4 minutes. It's going to be tough to beat that time, but like we said, he doesn't have to beat the time. He just has to beat the overall time. And he probably doesn't even know where he is. He's just got to keep working. He probably doesn't know the position and all that. He's just got to keep going. He's still tying, still working on that tie. He's at 4:08. All right, he's starting to come down. He's got to get his bucket down. He's got to come down with that hand line.
Looks like something might be tangled up a little bit there. I'm not real sure what's going on. No, maybe not. Maybe it comes down.
All right, he's got it. He's got to unhook it and come down. He's at 4:40.
What was Austin again?
He was at 4:34.
Oh.
So he's gotta hurry if he's gonna do anything. There's about a 30-second differential in their overall time. So anything over 30 seconds he's in trouble.
Man.
Yeah, and I think Austin's gonna be our champion.
Yep, that right there looks like the 30-second differentiation. He's 5:05 right there.
Yep, he's coming down. He doesn't know that. But regardless, he's still got a great time.
Absolutely. He's moving great, too. Moving really good.
And I think he might, I don't know what happened. He has a 2-point deduction. I don't know if there was like a cutout we didn't see or something, but he does have a 2-point deduction that got put on this event. So, but regardless, we knew that he didn't have it anyways because of the time. But Austin Daniels is our champion. But
he throws his gloves down. I bet he cut out right at the end right there.
Yeah, I think he knows. I think he knows he was that close. But a great day for Nathan Phillips and a great day at the ELITE Lineman Rodeo.
Absolutely. Good job, Phillips.
Well, here's our championship leaderboard, and you'll notice some 392, 394, 396s, 398s, and really a lot of good things happened. Cameron Hurd moved back up into the top 5. Mason Savely, Colton Wade in 3rd place, and Nathan Phillips, Austin Daniels. That's who it was really down to at the end. But Austin Daniels had that great time, a great overall time of 13:20, and he had the most overall points. It was a great day for Austin Daniels. So congratulations to Austin. And in Waylon, we're going to send Waylon down to the stage, and he is going to do the championship presentation for Austin Daniels. But we hope everyone enjoyed the Class 4 ELITE Lineman Rodeo. Thanks for tuning in. Let's send it down to Waylon on the stage.
Come on, Cameron. All right, so sorry about the wind. Miss Haley's working on some stuff in there for the graduation certificates for the rodeo for a brief explanation. Why are you coming up here?
You said come on, Cameron.
Yeah, but you wasn't up on the trailer. You think you're the champ? For the rodeo, the way that structure is, like Toby explained earlier, you start out with 100 points on each event. And if you drop something, or if you slip and fall, or if you crack an egg in the egg climb, whatever that is, that drops points. So everybody starts with 400 points because we got 4 events. And then the judge watches that. If all the students get 400, which never happens, that's why it's a rodeo. If they get 400 points, then it goes to times. The time portion of that is for a tiebreaker. So for the rodeo, and Miss Haley will be out here in just a minute, we'll continue back with graduation. For the rodeo, the only person to get 400 points was Austin Daniels, champ. Hey. Come here, Red. Come here, Red. Get up there, boy. Come on, big guy. Don't let them fly while you're up there, baby. Smile for Colton. Say cheese. Good job, Austin. Good job, buddy. Thanks for watching our video. Be sure to check us out in all our other videos and please subscribe below.